I can't hear you.
Good morning, friend.
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
You got on extra early.
Yes, I was trying to be better prepared this time around. Last week was a little, you weren't on last week, were you?
I was, but late.
Well, I felt a little all over the place. But that's okay. It made me get my butt into gear, and I want to show you what I came up with,
Yeah.
because you just can't leave well enough alone.
Right. We can always make it better somehow,
Well,
right?
that's right. Yeah, you have to make it better if it can be better.
Yeah.
But so I'm not going to do the Canva anymore because I feel like that's the accountability part. I feel is like what we're struggling with, like being able to track it without me having a CRM, like a Buffini CRM. So check this out. And I have it in a way that I'm going to show everybody. But I have it in here to show everybody. So the win and the focus, because I got it down to like 40 people, but still that's pretty big if everybody wants to share, and some people, don't want to be on camera, etc. So I have this new little form. Let me just pull it up. I was going to do this anyways. Open a new tab. Okay, so nice, clean form. And I guess I didn't really know how to use this. I didn't know everything this form could do for me that we have available to us when I first created it. So you pick your name. So most people's names are going to be in here, or you can add your name. So Karen, and then your win. So like, let's say we're meeting for March, right? And then did you do the video challenge last month? No. What was your win last month? What was your focus or this month? And then optional, if we have the time to discuss that the obstacle struggle thing, right? And none of it's required except for your name. So then you can go to the next one. So let's say you did that last week, but this week you want to put in your numbers. It would be great if everyone could do their win and focus and their numbers for that, so we would be the first week of March, you should have your numbers for last month. So, but just in case you're not, I said here, you can do your February totals. Did you host an event? Actual goal. And then that's it. And then you submit it. Down here, this was like a feature I thought was kind of fun. Like it's a countdown to each quarter. So I just put that in there, but
so we know how many days we have until the next quarter to get our quarterly goals done.
Right. I thought that was cool. And so if you want your year-to-date action totals, the other thing that, remember, Google form, it was getting you guys your numbers. So on this form thing, I have it now. So this is where all the data goes right here. But I have it separated. So on the first week of the month, when everyone's submitting their wins and focus, I just pull this up and I can look at it and just make it like to go over everybody's thing. Because I feel like what's happening is everyone has such good things to share. And there's like little bits that we want to talk about, right? Like, okay, tell us more about that. So if we have this down in their own words, and then I can kind of go through them all and say, okay, tell us more about the Easter egg event or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we can see it this way. Then I have the accountability week, look at actual goal to kind of check in.
Good. Yeah, I like that. Even though like sometimes I have a really hard time putting my numbers in, but hopefully like we would be able to come back to this. So if I haven't put my numbers in all the way for February yet.
Yeah.
I could come back in and see it.
Yeah, so you would be able to go back in and put your numbers in for February. Now you wouldn't be able to see this side of it. And that's where I said on a quarterly basis, if you want your numbers, I can, and that's why I did the drop down of names so that I can put your name in here and then I can get you this and download it for you. So you can see it, boom, 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 boom.
Okay. I like that.
So now it has your wins, and your totals all in one little thingy.
Yeah, I like that.
So hopefully it makes it a little bit more organized, because I just don't think that Canva thing was quite working the way I wanted it to.
Yeah, I think part of it too is it's just that might be the hardest thing to do, is to track numbers.
Yeah.
And especially for newer people, like I feel like I'm just now getting better at it. And we've been doing this for how long?
Yeah.
So
Well, that's the nice thing about this too, is like, if you don't want to do the numbers part, but you want to do the win and focus, like you don't have to fill them both in, like you can just go in there and do your win and focus for the month.
yeah. Yeah, I actually like the number. Like it really does, like talking about it so much keeps me focused on it. And when
Yeah.
I do go back and I'm like, oh, I only made 39 calls this week, you know,
Yeah.
it's like, and I do like focusing on like the total number
Mhm.
instead of just like, okay, you missed this many calls. I don't know. Right now, it just makes me feel like, well, I just missed it by 20, like the whole total. So that's really not that bad. But when I look at it, well, you missed 15 calls, you missed all your note cards, then
Yeah.
it's like more shaming, even
Well, yeah,
though,
especially if it makes sense, like you did more of something else. If you focused a lot on something else that was just as good, it shouldn't, but something else got hurt by it. Like it's still all the same in the same effort, right? Like to do
yeah,
lead gen. So I like it. And I also put on here reminder of your focus this month. So when we're doing our check-in on the third week, that's when like we should have our numbers for the last month in and kind of check in where you're at for your numbers this month. And then also a reminder of what your focus was.
yeah. I wonder can it be, well, I don't know if I need that or if it would make it better to be like, hey, it's the end of the month. Y'all need to go put your numbers in. I know, I mean, that might sound stupid, but sometimes just
No,
be
I
like,
think that will be good. I think that will be good on, we can definitely do that because I want the numbers in by this. So really the week one, when you do your win and focus, because everyone can submit their win and focus that morning. But really by then, that would be really good to get your numbers in. So last week of the month, first week of the month. Because by the first week, you should definitely, it's the end of the month, you should have your totals by then.
yeah.
And then week 3, we can review them. And you can scan that with your phone to submit your numbers too, or I'll put the link in the chat.
Oh, that'd be good. I wonder, can we save it? Like once we scan it in our phones, we could probably bookmark it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And if you're on an iPhone, this is a cool trick that I didn't really know until like a couple years ago, but when you're on your iPhone and you have a link to a website and how you press a little arrow button to like share it to somebody, you can actually share it to your home screen and it turns into an app. Like it looks like an app on your home screen.
Oh, yes. That's what we need to do.
Try that real fast because I want to see if it works. If you scan it, it should, but.
All right, let's see.
Because I was like, that's insane. It was really cool. Okay, but today we're talking about.
Hold on, I got in trouble. Somebody texted me about an offer.
Yeah, and I also needed to get on early because we're doing Google Forms and QR codes. So I kind of need to get my ducks together.
Okay, but you took away my QR code. Now I can't scan it.
Oh, sorry. Right here.
Yeah, sorry. Somebody had
No, you're fine.
Text me. Okay, so now. Oh, it says, whoops, unfortunately, the page you were looking for could not be found. It may be temporarily unavailable, moved, or no longer exist.
I mean, aren't I glad we are testing this out? What the heck? You know what? I might have used the QR code. I had an original one and then I was like, no, that's not working. And I duplicated it. So let me see if this one is.
Could you believe how big your group got? Like all of a sudden it was like, boom.
That new, I don't know if it was, I mean, it's still a bit, majority of us, it's not too many people from other areas, but yeah, it was like the new year, people were wanting it, needing it. And it was like, boom.
Yeah.
A lot of people like, hey, I've been wanting to come and things like that. Okay, let's try this again.
Okay.
Let me
Oh,
put this little baby. Come on. My other thing. There we go. Okay, try that one.
use this form to submit your win and focus. And I got it.
So, and if you didn't do it for last week too, or February, if you want to put them in there.
Yeah, actually I can. Last week was
March, so
Still
your
the
win
March.
for February. Actually, you might have put it in.
did I? Oh, I might have put them in right then.
Hold on, let me see. Let's see if your name's on here. Yeah, yours is right here. You said off-market listing under contract, 160 Paul Bias neighborhood. Focus. Find client and house notes. And your
Yeah,
notes.
note cards. And I did the power hour.
Good job.
Yeah, got it. All right, but let me see if I can save it to my home screen.
Oh yeah. So it's opened up and it's like you're sharing the link with somebody, you know?
Yeah.
I think that, oh, you know what it has to be in? Copy and
What?
paste it. Are you in Safari?
Well, it's DuckDuckGo, but
So I do think it has to be in like the Safari, the Google, I mean, the iPhone.
okay.
So like copy and paste that link that you got in DuckDuckGo and put it into Safari. And then you, at the bottom, there's that little arrow that you can share it. Adrienne, your
Okay,
hair is
go
looking-
back to it again because now I was trying to move it, and of course, you know, I lost it. Okay. I'm gonna copy
Adrienne,
this.
you look so cute. You got a big day today?
I have a little coffee meetup in a little bit, but thank you.
Nice, nice, nice. Education share.
I'm not seeing a home screen option.
So
Oh,
when
yes, add to home screen.
I have a home screen.
I got it. That's
All
super
right, guys,
cool.
me and Karen were just chatting. We both jumped on early, so I had to show her my new idea. So, and sure enough, one of them didn't work. So it was good that I tested it.
Oh, yeah, I didn't shower or anything today. Sorry. I'm just not looking at myself.
You're
It's
fine.
just, it's a work from home day. Got the hair up.
Morning,
I
Gina.
think everybody understands that by now, right? Everyone. And now that it's a closed group, you guys make a cut. And so it's like, we know who's on.
Yay.
Yay. Yeah, it started making me nervous. Like a bunch of people, like after the class ended, I was like, who are all these names? And they're so quiet. They don't participate. And I'm like, no, that's not what this is about. This isn't a sit back and listen. This is a, we're in this together. Right, Stacy? Stacy's one of our new ones. Stacy, you're in San Antonio? No?
I'm here in the Fort Worth area.
You are in
Josh-
Fort Worth.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I get to know the ones that are like regular, because sometimes when you see a bunch of names you don't know, it's like they're all a blurb. I'm like, Stacy has come before several times. Regina, are you doing okay? Allergies?
Of course.
I think I just saw something when I was opening up the news, or something on my phone was showing like allergies are really bad right now all over the place.
It's miserable. I have been miserable, like literally. As soon as I go out, I'm like literally really like so bad.
Abort, get back indoors. I really thought my allergies went away at the beginning of COVID, but it was just because I wasn't going outside.
Nope.
It was really nice. There's Luke. Do you see us, Luke?
He wants to be on camera at all times.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Hello. All right, we'll get started here in a little bit. I am recording this one too. I don't record them all, as some of you guys know, but I'm going to try to get better, especially if you guys remind me, especially of the mastermind ones, where I know some people do want to listen and take in what we talked about. I don't think our, wins and focus are great, and then the accountability week is great, but I think the mastermind week and the let's talk about it week is really where some of our good collaboration comes from. So I'm going to try to record those straight to YouTube. So if you ever miss it, I'll try to have them on there. I'm also going to show you, for those of you that have been with me for a while, you guys know I like to improve things when they're not working. You guys heard me say I was going to make some changes. You got my email last night about kind of not having this as open to everyone anymore. I'm going to kind of create something else for other people, but I do want you guys to know that you guys can still refer people to this group if you want to bring someone in. I don't want it to be shut off in that way, but we just want the right people in here that want to participate and grow together. So I did kind of shut that down just so that we can keep this what it is. And then I also improved how we're going to submit some of our information for the win and focus week. So the first week of the month, and then also the accountability week when we do our total numbers. So I'm going to show you guys that really quickly. And this is a good one. Today, we're going to be talking about, it's our Stretch and Grow Mastermind. And last year, a lot of you expressed interest in Google Forms and QR codes. I know that's a big one. I've done classes on them in the past. Some of you have made them, some of you haven't. And so we were going to go over that today together. So hopefully you guys be thinking of what you would want a Google form for, because we're going to actually make one together. But first, I wanted to show you what there's going to be a new on the front here. So no more Canva link for everybody. I'll have this up at the beginning of class. This is the QR code. Karen just asked me it'd be great to be able to save this on our phones. If you scan that code and it opens up on your phone, if it opens up in something besides Safari, which mine does, copy that link to Safari and you can actually save it to your home screen. It actually turns into like an app and you can put goals. So if you copy and paste that link into Safari, and then just like when you share a link with somebody and you do the little arrow, and you can text it to someone, you can email it to someone, there's an option that says save to home screen. And so that's a good little tip of the day. You can do that with any website. And there'll also be the new link in the email, and I can put it in the chat as well. But this is what it's going to look like. The first part of the form, the only thing required is your name, and then what meeting you're going to be submitting your win. Did you do the challenge last month? What was your win from last month? And what was your focus for this month? And then it's going to look like this so that we can really go over it with each other. I kind of like the idea of everybody writing it. I think part of what kind of slowed me down was me typing it out, right? That was probably not the best idea. And so you guys can type it out in your own words. We can kind of review everybody's, but I think from everybody's, there's always something we want to hear a little bit more about. So it kind of gives us more time to go into the fun ideas that we want to share with each other. And then you press next. So this is, you don't have to fill out this every time, because then the next button, it's going to take you to your numbers. So you can put these in together. Ideally, it'd be great. Let's say it was last week, for the first week of March, you put in your win and your focus, and then you have your numbers ready for February. So we put in our February totals, because by the first week of March, we should have our February totals. And this is what we'll use in our accountability week, just to kind of go through, give each other some applause, pat on the back of reaching your numbers. So you can see right here, February totals for Adrian. Her goal was 130. She got 219. Referrals received 3. She got 1. and her goal was 1, she didn't have a close last month, and that may be accurate, that may not be. But so this is a much cleaner way to see everybody's totals that has put them in. And then and on here on the form, I have again what the contacts, aka connections, equals the total action, including your calls, texts, and emails, notes, pop buys, appointments. So I have that little reminder on the form. And then once you submit it, I'll have it on here to use as a group. And then we'll, at the end of a quarter, if you ever want your numbers as a whole, I can download those for you, and where you can see them in a PDF or in an Excel. So I can show you, and you can have your focus, your wins, and all your numbers for the month. And this was just a fun thing in my Jot form that I could do, like a countdown. And so now we have a countdown of how many more days we have left of a quarter. So I thought that was kind of fun, but also like a little, put some pressure on us, right? So just so you see, this is like I was showing you the form. So nice and easy. You can go back, you can go forward, and it's only these 2 pages. You don't have to put both sides in. It'd be great if you could do your win and your focus and your numbers in the same thing, but you can always come back and just do your numbers. And there's that countdown down there. We have 23 days left until the end of the quarter. So any questions about this? And I know we had a lot of questions about what we're totaling up as action. And so that's right there. Ooh, that font is bad. It's too light. If you fill in the section, don't forget to select the month. Always forget to select the month that you're putting the totals in for. So I left everything just in case you haven't put any in. You can always go back and add them. And when you press submit, it says fill out again. So it takes you right back to the form. And then we'll be able to look at everything like this. So last week when we did our wins, we can go through everyone's like this, where we can read and kind of talk a little bit more about our wins and focus that way. And if you ever want your own, I filter it out by your name. At the end of the quarter, I can send you all of the ones you've submitted. So hopefully this is better. And again, you can scan it on your phone right here. And I'll also put this in the chat. So if you weren't here with us last week, I think I have everybody's win and focus in there. I actually took all the data from our Canva. So if you put data in from January, February, March, or January and February, I actually put it into this tracker here. If you didn't and you want to, please feel free to add that in there. I put the link in the chat for us, but hopefully that will make it easier. Does that make sense? Anybody have questions about that? And if you don't want to do the numbers and you just want to do the wins and focuses, that's great too. You don't have to do both.
Gina, the link that you just posted is not working.
You know what? That could be why. Try that one. Looks the same to me. Goals 2022. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's because I didn't have the HTTP. Yeah, now you can click it.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions about that? Shanae, I see you are on here. I don't know if Rebecca's on here. You guys had some questions last week on what we're adding up each week.
So I'm trying to see that on my phone and I can't see it, but I'm sure that whatever you did was great and I'll love it.
You guys are the sweetest. Okay. Yes. And you can do it on your phone. And in the second page is where I think it's going to help everybody. Where did it go? Right here. And like I said, you can go back. So this is the first page. You have to put your name in there. But this is where it shows you what we're adding up for our numbers. And like I said, if you don't want to do the numbers, you can just submit your wins and focuses on that first week there. But hopefully this will make it easier and the meetings a little smoother. Okay, so let's go back to this week is about, and it'll be up to me to kind of put this together. I kind of condensed down what we do each week. Last week, we went over our wins and focuses. This week, stretch and grow mastermind discussion. This was a topic I added to the agenda because at the end of last year, we had a lot of good people on, and they were like, well, we want to learn more about Google Forms, QR codes as a way of organizing our database, right? Maybe getting extra data you haven't gotten over the years, a way of collecting it in an organized way where it's just not so hard for you to then transfer it to your database. And so I threw this one in there to kind of get us organized for the rest of the year. So I want to do this together with you guys. I want you guys to feel like I want you to feel after this that you can really take this and use this in your business. The group isn't too large today, which is great. If you are familiar with Google, please get in there right now and be clicking around with me so that you feel like you can also do it. But then we're going to make one together, and I'm pretty sure I can share. I'm going to be able to share the form with you later. So if you guys want to copy it, paste it, whatever. And then also the QR codes. There's a lot of ways to do QR codes. I've kind of stuck with this one website that I've been using that I like. There's a lot of free websites out there, which makes you feel kind of like, is this gonna hack my system kind of feeling, you know? But this one's been pretty good for me. So that was our idea today, a little bit more of a tutorial type mastermind discussion, but I think it might spur on some good conversation on what we can use these for and how to like leverage it in your business. Does that make sense, everyone? Is that good? Yes. So be thinking about the questions you've had or the thoughts or ideas you've had with this type of thing. And also, if there's something else you use as a survey option, you guys are probably also thinking, oh, this little form thing that Gina has is kind of cool, right? I want to say this is something my company has. It is something out there. It's called G.O.A.L.S form. It is something out there that I'm sure you can pay for, just a business owner or anyone. It's probably a little bit more robust. And the truth is, if all of us have Google Forms, right? If most people have a Gmail, does everyone here have a Gmail? Anybody that doesn't have a Gmail? Anybody still in SBC Global, any Yahoo, any Hotmail? Hotmail's not even a thing anymore, so we really need to update that one. Most people have a Gmail. It's free for you guys to use, so why not use it, right? Don't go try to go buy something else. So this is your Google Drive, right? And I'll try to help you guys out. Try to give you a little 101 on all of it, just to make sure we're not skipping ahead too far. Whenever you go to your email, and I don't know what your guys' Chrome, if you're on Google Chrome, I usually get to my everything from right here, right? It knows I'm logged in. There's my account. I can jump to the different accounts I have. And if I press those little dots, I can go straight to my drive, right? So, but then it's going to take me to that drive. I already have it open right here. So this is my drive. And on your phone, you can access all these things. It may make you download a different app for each one of these. There's Google Docs, like Word, Google Sheets, like Excel, Google Slides, like PowerPoint, and then there's Google Forms. You might need to check on or click on more to see Google Forms until you start using it. It's not going to pop up there. You can also see there's drawings, my maps, sites, app script, Jamboards is like a school thing, I think. So there's lots of different apps that go along with that you can connect to this, but we're going to play around here in Google Forms real fast. So, and like I said, on your phones, you can access all these things. It just may make you download the Google Sheets app. And you can open up Google, like a Word document will open up in Google Docs. An Excel document will open up in Google Sheets and vice versa. They'll download to an Excel. So I'm going to start with a blank form. There are a lot of templates in here that you can use, which is always nice, right? To get it started, RSVPs, contact information, find a time, maybe to meet with you, RSVPs, customer feedback, might be able to start there. Or we can just say, I'm going to start with my own. And usually I like to start with my own because it's usually easier than kind of changing everything that's in it. So this is what you're gonna see right when you start your own. So what do you guys want to do? And I am recording this just so you know. What do you guys, I want you guys to really share with me what you guys want this to look like. So what do you guys want to do? A customer satisfaction, or do we want to do a buyer appointment questionnaire? What do you guys think? Or
So question, if you do this Google form, can you send it to somebody's phone and they complete it on their phone?
oh yes.
Okay, because I know one of the questions that we've worked on this week is our buyer's consultation review. They're so overwhelmed by the time they finish the buyer's consultation, asking them for a review is, I mean, it's a 3-question review, but it's kind of like
It's hard. Yeah.
too much.
They get
blows their
overwhelmed.
mind. Yeah.
Also, what about, can you hear me? I'm Kareen.
Yep.
I think I'm just thinking of another idea for the form would be like when you're doing, I don't know, I just thought about, if somebody does like a giveaway type of pop by, like the reverse pop by, like with the pies or something,
Oh yes.
and you can send it out and kind of get a feel for who wants what, if they
Oh,
can,
this would be a super easy one.
or something
to
like that.
do your pies. And she's talking about the reverse pop by party with the pies. You give them a choice of pecan, apple, whatever. This would be a very quick
And if they
easy
can come,
one.
the date to come pick it up, yes or no. Or I've seen people do another type of, I don't know if you could call it a pop by, but event, like a family photo op
Oh
with
yes.
Santa, or I don't know, like that, but those people who could sign up for that.
Yep, where you have time slots for family
Yeah, time
photos,
slots.
like you
Yeah.
don't want them all to come at the same time.
Yeah.
Nope, this would be a very easy form to do that with, for sure. What do you guys want to do one of those? I mean, that's an easy one. I was gonna pull up the PowerPoint of, hold on a second, because we all have this, you might have a lot of this stuff on paper, right? And so that might be something, I'm gonna pull up our seller one, my seller PowerPoint that I've shared with, I think, everybody, and I'll share it with you guys again. But let's not try to reinvent the wheel, right? Like taking something you have that's on paper and making it digital is the first step. So if I took this little presentation and let's say even this one, this is a good seller questionnaire. Do you guys want to do this one? Or is there something else you'd prefer doing? Better idea?
Sure, let's do this one and even asking for feedback, survey feedback.
You want to do yeah, for sure. So this was kind of, let's see, let me go to the next page. Let's do this one. And I'm gonna pull this right here so I can see both sides. So first off, you guys are seeing this as purple. You can always change the colors here. You can choose an image to be your header. Let's just go ahead and so you can upload your logo. Let's just do, no, so I'm doing this so you can see what it looks like, because we like things custom, right? So if you have your header that you can use. And of course, Gina just can't pick any one. I have to go find the right one. Why am I having such a hard time with this? Here we go. It's uploading that there. Oh, it's a little bit cropped. So now we need you can go back and make sure, that's a whole other class, but we can do that another day, to make sure it's the right size, right? And sometimes it's better to have a lot of white around your image so that you can just crop it in on that. And it even pulls the theme color now based off of that logo. It's giving me those colors. So now I can kind of choose something that really goes well together, which I think is nice. There's different fonts, but I never change those. I don't think that's too important. So that option right there is your theme options, and that's going to be right underneath that little color palette. Okay, so you can kind of customize what it looks like. That little button is your preview to see what it looks like once it's done. So let's go ahead and do this seller satisfaction, right? So I'm gonna name my form seller satisfaction. First question is just their name, right? But we want, and it, see how I just changed that and it automatically changed. It's very intuitive. Some of this stuff might be new to me. It automatically changed it from a multiple choice to a short answer. So that's really nice. I'm gonna duplicate that because, I was gonna do, are you a buyer or a seller? We don't need that. Obviously, this is a seller satisfaction. If you wanted to really simplify your life, you might do a satisfaction survey that could go to either one, right? But what about how did we meet? A little short answer there. Did you consider, I'm going to duplicate it again, but I'm also going to make this one. So these are your choices. Drop down, checkbox, multiple choice. You've got your short answers. So I can do drop down. How did we meet? I'm going to do, did you consider other brokers or agents? And it suggests those. Really making this easy for you guys, right? Thanks, Google. You know, we don't like that they're probably listening to us all the time, but it's kind of nice when it's intuitive and it's helpful, right? You guys can see here too, I'm duplicating a question. You can delete it or you can make it required. Shuffle options, description, go to section based on answer. That's going to be a pretty intuitive form. We're not trying to do all that. Let's do another multiple choice and let's do this question right here. What did you consider when choosing an agent? Copy. What did you consider using an agent? So now we've got some options and you might want this one to be multiple choice. Now, please, while I'm doing this, because there's some there's some time, if you have a question, please ask. And if there's a question in the chat, let me know. But again, I want you guys to be able to feel like along the way here that you're not lost when we get off of this, that you feel like you can make one of these.
So the making it look simple question, is there something that you can put on there where it can post that to Google as a Google review?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, Google reviews is its own little thing, which I haven't really looked a lot into, and there's not a lot of customizing that, I don't believe. Rachel, do you know if Google reviews has any customization of the questions that are asked?
No, they ask the same thing, but it's super basic.
Yeah. And guys, when it comes to reviews, especially, you kind of have to choose what you want to, which platform you want to use. There's a lot of different ones, maybe one you notice gets more views than others. I know Google review is a big one.
I know the Google review is associated with your Google business page.
Yeah.
So when you go in and manage your Google business page, you can request, there's a place for reviews and you can request a review and you can copy a link and then you can send it to your client or people. And then they can, fill it out from there and it'll automatically post on there.
You know what else too? I saw. What are you going to say, Shanae?
Well, so could you integrate that link into your Google form there to where they can click and then also leave you a review on Google?
Now
that's a good idea. You could try it. Practice one.
Yeah, so for sure you can put on here. Let me try to think about where we could put that. Let's just use this link, for example. Imagine that's your Google page, right? And you guys are going to be able to
You know what, Gina? I actually did that. I got to remember how I did it without going to look at my form. I just created like a question, like, would you go fill out Facebook reviews? And I had a link underneath it as a Facebook review. And then the same with wherever else. There was 2 other places.
Will you?
It wasn't perfect, and they didn't do it, but that's okay.
So what you could do is like add that question onto here, you know, like your testimony, and we can work on that at the end of this and maybe make it better, kind of think through it with each other. But like having that testimony question, right? 5 stars or whatever, and then just saying, hey, will you copy and paste that and click on this link and go paste it there, right? Would be something you could do. I wanted to look this up real quick because I liked my chiropractor had a good review thing. It's called Review Wave, improving customer experience. Of course, I'm just looking down at the bottom of their email. And I just, for some reason, I liked what it did. It was an email, and then it takes you right to, check in on Facebook, leave us a review on Facebook.
What's it called?
Review Wave, WAVE. What I do think, Facebook's a hard one. I think this would probably be better with Google. Facebook's a hard one because we know if you put a link of Facebook, it takes you to the internet, not your app, which is absolutely infuriating. Okay, so back to this. Okay, so we're making the forms. You guys are kind of understanding the questions. You can make this as, you know, we've done open house forms before where we actually add photos. So open house responses. We're going to get to that in a second, what it looks like. I would love to know. Oh, here it is. I had a class on this. So here's an example, without me having to do it on the other one, of adding images. So this would take a little bit of Canva savvy. But let's say you had an open house, and you know, all of this takes time on the first one. If you made this template for your open houses where you can quickly upload that graphic in there, it's not as time consuming. And then you can always leave this kind of static, leave it the same, but it's a really easy way of doing, having it a little bit more visual. So curb appeal, what's your first impression? They can rate it. Kitchen and dining, you can add the options there. Oh, this one's.
Ooh, I love that.
This one's not all done though.
How do you add a photo from the survey? Or
so right here, you could upload it. Again, you need that right size, and it's not telling me. Let's use this. Oh, this one might actually format to the size of your photo, whether it's square or whatever. Left align, center, right, change photo, remove, add caption. So that kind of gives it a little bit more of a visual appeal. You might even choose not to do the question here if the question is in the graphic. So that's an option. You can, as you can see here, imagine, I'm going to see what this does. So right here on the side, it kind of follows you along, and you can add a different question and kind of start blank. You can import questions. So I'm guessing if you have an Excel, here's my other forms I've had in the past. So you could really quickly duplicate those questions over here, it looks like. I'm not going to do that, but you can also have a video. So imagine having an introduction video to a buyer or to a seller on YouTube, right? YouTube is just a platform to be able to hold videos. You could also have it in your Google Drive. I think a lot of you know this, but I'm just going to say it just in case. If I had a video in here, which I probably do. So here's a video that I've used. The reason why Google Drive got so popular is because anything you put in here now has a URL link. And there's really not other things out there that allow us to do that. That is what makes Google Drive so different. It gave anybody, not a web designer, the ability to create a URL link. So if I wanted that video, anyone with the link can watch it. I'm going to copy that link. So I have this video in Google Drive. I copied that link. I right-clicked, get link, change the access. And let's see what it does if now if I insert, come on, baby. Oh no, this only wants YouTube. That's interesting that Google wouldn't let its own videos be in here. All right, well, that took care of that. So let's go ahead and go to YouTube real fast. If you did have a YouTube video, you could take the URL and I want to see what this looks like. So let's go to, oh yeah, that would have been a good one. Let's go back. So I'm going to say, I'm going to grab, go to my thing. I'm going to share, copy that link. I really like this about YouTube though, too. If you had like some dead space at the beginning and you want someone just to join the video right at the 30-second mark, because that's when you get to the good stuff. I really like that. Oh, and so I thought that was cool. But let's go ahead and try this real fast, because I think having a little introduction video of yourself would be cool. Wow, that looks great. We'll see what this looks like when you guys actually use this video.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's okay, so this one, I'm like, oh, I don't need that one anymore. This one, I said, did you consider using another brokerage? I'm going to get rid of, well, I'll leave that there. And you can say, this could be your introduction video at the very top of the whole shebang, if you wanted it to be. Sometimes I've been liking putting your name at the very end, like before they submit, because kind of get to the good stuff, get to the stuff they want to talk about, or they came to the form to fill out first. You can add sections to this, which is kind of nice. It kind of, if you have a questionnaire that's super long and you're like, man, it just goes on and on and on, you can divide it up into sections. So maybe this is, you know, depending on what you want it to be, this could be different parts of the transaction they liked if you had a survey about that. And so what happens is when in the form, it's going to say, go to the next section. And so it'll take them to the next one. And I'm going to let you guys actually go through this. So let's make this transaction experience. Right? And so I'm going to do circle. So this was one of my questions I like. Circle your top 3 favorite parts of the process and strike through your least 3 favorite parts of the process. So maybe we split this one into 2 questions, right? And I can just say select. And I'm going to make this a description. I want to make this a question, guys. It's okay, you see how this one's not giving me an option? Not quite sure why. So I'm not going to worry about that too much. I'm just going to go make a new one, right? Because sometimes we don't know why things are the way they are. Linear scale is a cool one. That was kind of that, you know, 5 stars or rate this 1 to 5. Multiple choice grid can get kind of crazy. I don't think I've used this because I don't quite understand when I would use it. I don't think I've had a situation. Same thing with the checkbox grid. I don't know why we would use that. You can have a date, a time, but you see the options are limited, which is really nice when you don't want to get too overwhelmed, right, with the options. I want to try something. You know what I think it is? I'm going to try this one. I'm going to paste some of these answers here. Row, column. Nope. Multiple choice grid. I think it looks different on the user end, but I'm going to show you guys now what it looks like to get answers. So that's going to involve you guys actually asking or taking the quiz, and I'm going to show you how to share it. All right. Copy. Rows, columns. So this would be multiple choice grid. So maybe you say favorite, least favorite, right? I think that's might be how that works. And you guys can tell, I know sometimes with all this tech stuff, it makes you nervous because you're like, I don't want to mess it up. I know you guys have said that before. And you really can't mess this up, okay? You can see what I'm doing right now. I'm playing around and I can delete it if I don't like it, right? And then you can test it out. Require a response in each row. No, I do not want a response in each row. I'm going to move this one to my section 2 at the very end. And I know this doesn't all make sense, but we're just gonna leave it like this for now. So I can preview this, press preview. I can see that my link is live, which is good. And I can kind of see what it looks like. And it says next. So let's say we're ready, and it opened that up in a new tab. So I'm gonna go back to this one, which is I'll make this bigger now. So it opened this up in here. Undo, redo, make a copy, move to trash, pre-filled link, not sure what that one means, print. So some options there, but we're gonna go to send. Now, if this is something that you wanna send to your database, you can do that. Or if it's something and you can send it from right here, send via email. And I really do like the way the email actually looks. When you send it to somebody in an email, it actually include form in email. So instead of being subject, you know what? It could be because of that video. Cancel. I bet you anything it was, because I've seen it do, I've seen it do that before. I don't know why it's not doing that now. Could be the images. We'll have to troubleshoot that one, why it won't. But I really do like how it looks when you include it in the email, because the form is embedded in your email for them to click and press submit. Or you can go right here to the link. So I usually press shorten URL, and now I have my form link. So you guys asked, can I send this in a, can I text this to somebody, right? This is going to be for your website. I wouldn't use that, okay? So you're going to use this one, copy. So if I wanted to get this to you guys in my email or in a text message, I'd probably email this link to myself, and then I would shoot it in a text, right? So I'm going to paste it in the chat for everybody and go ahead and fill it out quickly, kind of play around with the options, and then I can show you how you guys get this data back. And as you guys respond, we're going to see right here in my form, the responses pop up. We got one. Give me a couple. Give me a couple. All right, so it's live responses. This would be great at an open house. This would be great at a raffle, a survey at a live event, you know, something you're hosting. I will show you guys while you're submitting that, the settings section here gives you some more options. Again, click around, make sure you have tested out everything. Make this a quiz, probably not something you need to do. Manage how responses are collected. You can force collecting email addresses, send responders a copy of their response, kind of like that. Allow response editing for them to edit after they respond. Limit one response per person. Manage how they're seen, show a progress bar. That would be for probably a longer quiz. Shuffle questions. Don't know why you don't need to do that here. And we got to remember, sometimes a lot of teachers are using this too. So some things we don't really need. Okay, so now we've got some responses. So again, I'm here in my Google Drive. Let's see, last modified. Trying to show you. So when you go, I just love showing you guys stuff that doesn't work. Oh wait, this one's right here. Why are these being shown? Last modified by me? Who else is modifying them? Anyways, oh, okay, sorry. These are folders. Here's where it starts right here. So you go into your Google Drive and you see these are your forms. It's also showing me this one right here because I last edited it. So that's where you would go to your Google form. It's going to open like this. And then you have your responses right there. And you can see them this way. This is a great, something you can use for, let's say, a page in your buyer or seller presentation of your feedback, right? Like, hey, I have 99% of people were referred to me, or 99% of people say I'm good at X, Y, Z. So I do like these graphs that it shows you, and you can actually copy this chart and input it into, let's see if this works. Copy chart. Boom. I also want to see, can I copy this chart and put it into Canva? Not so much. Copy. I'm going to try that one more time. Yep. Okay. So you can do it into Word, can't do it into Canva. That's okay. But I think the charts are good for certain, maybe.
You could do a snapshot grab.
Yep. Oh, yeah. You're right.
So that way, maybe.
Snippet. If you don't know about Snippet, it's one of our favorites. You see it right here. Everyone has this on their Microsoft computer. You just type in snip. And the new one is called Snip and Sketch. And save it to your toolbar. I use this all the time. And you just snip it. It's going to freeze my screen real fast. And you have it right there. And now I can paste that, copy, paste. It's already copied right in there. Good one. Okay, so this is, I see your names. So this is showing me the summary of everything. I love this one, right? You can also do it by individual. So now I can go through the 6 people that put the answers. I can go through them that way, or I can go through it by each question. That one, that's silly. But a lot of this data we want in Excel, right? Even if you could upload to your database or different things like that. Let's say at a new event where you're meeting people that aren't in your database that you want to add to your database. So this little create spreadsheet, you can also accept responses. You can turn this off to make, maybe you want it to be shut down. You don't want to continue getting them after you've reviewed them. Let's see what else is right here. Select response destination, get email notification when you get a new response, download responses into a CSV, or print all responses. So that's under the 3 little dots. Get email notification. I think that's probably a good one. But then you can click on create a new spreadsheet or select an existing one. So I haven't created this one yet, so I'm going to create a new one. And now it's dumped all of my data into this. And what's nice about this is if somebody else were to days later fill this out again, it's going to continue adding to this spreadsheet. So I can go back and check it, and it's ongoing unless I say, let's create a new one, right? So, and again, in my Google Drive, I'm refreshing my Google Drive real fast. So now you can see, here's my seller satisfaction form, and here's my seller satisfaction Excel, right? So I have those 2 there. So now I can, and if, let's say I needed this in to download into Excel, you can just download Excel. And a lot of your guys' databases require CSV files.
Gina, sorry, I have a question. Okay, so say you sent the form out and you've gone out of your Google Drive and you want to get back in to see anybody respond. Can you show me how you did that again? You say you go back to the document, and at that point it'll have responses at the top, or?
Yeah. So think about this one where you can edit your questions and you can edit everything. Think about this as your main kind of hub of this form.
I see
You can check your responses really easily here, but you don't have to do this every time. If someone else could do this the form again, you're going to see it pop up here.
Okay.
It's going to be in both places.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep. And you can delete this form and start fresh. If you're like, okay, I use that data, now I want a fresh data. But whatever you edit in here will stay like that. So if I got, if I'm like, oh, this person just wants to joke around with me, how do we meet in prison? I bet I could guess who that was. Their name. I could delete that one and it's going to be deleted. It's not going to refresh it.
Okay.
Let's actually see that real fast. Delete row. I don't know if that really matters. Let's refresh this one over here. Responses. Still has 6 responses. So this stays the same, but this form, you're editing it on its own. So then you have data, right? You have addresses, you could have phone numbers, you can have emails. Okay, now real fast. Now we have this as a form that you could have on a piece of paper at your closing table. You could have this at an open house. You could have this at an event when people walk in, please check in. So many different things you can have this with, but what has QR codes done for us? They've made it easy to be able to access a web link, right? So this page, and I'll put this in the chat, is just one of the QR code sites that somehow I just started using this one. I used to use one called Zebra something. I think it changed to this, but I like this one. Now, you do not have to make a login. I have a little cheat around that if you don't want to have an account and pay for it. So let's go back to our form. Go to send. Go to the link. I'm going to shorten it just because I hate long links. I'm going to copy that link. Copy. And I'm going to go over here. Enter your website. So this is me just going to this website. I'm not logged in. And you guys can go ahead and scan this QR code and it's going to be that, take you right to that form. So it already generated like super fast, blink of an eye. So, oops. I want to also see if it works. Open in Chrome. Yeah.
What if I wanted that QR code on, how do you take that QR code from where you are now? Take that and put it into something that you want.
Okay, so this is my hack for if you don't want to log in and you don't want to pay for it, okay? Is because when you press download, it's going to sign up for free. And a lot of people ask me for this. Go back to your handy dandy snip and sketch. There can only be one QR code per link out there in the world, which is really crazy. You can snip that QR code and go over here.
That's Canva. Yeah.
And that's Canva. I just pasted it into Canva. Now, let me show you what having a login is going to do for you. And I guess you could even change it. You see these little options?
Mm-hmm.
You can scan all, sign up for free. So that was the, there's all these other ones too. I think there's even something that I've never really played with. I want to say they even have an option for a survey in this QR code option. So let's go ahead and log in. Let's all cross our fingers. I can remember my login, or maybe it just logs me in. That'd be great. No, I think this was a long time ago I set this up. Nope.
So you're doing everything in Canva. Does it also work in PicMonkey?
Yes, I'm sure it does. Keep me signed in. Hold on a second. Let me go. Don't you hate, like, I don't remember what things I've logged in with. Just give me 2 seconds, everyone. Yes, it's gonna, I want to say PicMonkey. You can also copy and paste things in there. Come on, Gina. Keep your logins all in one place for moments like this. QR code reader, did you make the cut? You did not. Any other questions while I figure this out? I was just in here the other day.
Yeah, I have a question about your snip tool.
Okay.
I do it a different way on my Mac. I just hit Shift Command 4 and it just, I can.
Is that, but that's a print screen.
I don't know. I just use that and then it gives me a little place and I can just expand and pull and drag whatever I want snipped. But yours looks a little different. So show me what yours is.
Okay.
It's an actual app or?
Yeah. So no. This is apparently on everybody's
Mac.
You're on Microsoft computers. This is there. It used to be called Snipping Tool, and now it's called Snip and Sketch. Oh, I think this happened to me before too, and it's just there. I saved it to my toolbar, and so it's always down here at the bottom, and I use it all the time.
So do I just go to my Finder folder and type in Snip and Sketch?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, if you just go down here to snipping, that's Snipping Tool. That's the old one. Snip
But it won't be on
and
both Mac
sketch.
and a PC, will it? Mac and PC have different command codes.
Yeah, and are you on a Mac, Corinne?
I am on a Mac, yes.
Okay, yeah. So what you just did with your control, whatever, that might be the Mac version.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess I just know the code. I know it that way. I don't really know it from your way. Maybe that's what it is.
That could be it.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to register again. Do you see what's happening to me, everyone? QR code generator. Log in. Oh, well, this is just great. Fine, complete registration. Just do it. Let's get started, Skip.
I do know that Canva does the QR codes now too.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So this is, you have some options here. So this is a tricky part in this is dynamic QR codes versus static QR codes. So once you have a login to this, you only, when you pay for the subscription, you only have so many dynamic codes. And dynamic codes means, imagine putting a QR code on your business card, but maybe you want that QR code to change, right? You want, maybe it's for new listings, right? On your sign, your yard sign. So you want that QR code to be able to change in the background. That would be a dynamic code where you can change the link. Or a static code means you've done it once and it's going to stay the same always. So I'm pretty sure you can have as many static codes as you want, but the dynamic ones are the ones that are going to be different. So I'm going to go over here. I copied that link. And I'm going to put it in. And I'm going to say next. It's a website. I'm going to put my link in there, next. And now you're going to see there's a lot more options than that first page without logging in. It opens up to this page giving you choices of color, choices of the frame that is around it, choices of these little dots, the color of the dots, and you can even upload your logo to be in the center. Now, of course, think about a QR code. That's going to be pretty tiny, right? Here's the shortened URL. So if you did want to still use this in a shortened URL in, you know, Facebook or something like that, you can copy it. But this is where you can actually download the link now. Let's see what it tells me to do.
And this QR code generator, it does cost or only for so many and then you have to pay, or how does that work?
Yeah, then you have, I think there's only so many you can do and then you have to pay. It's going to ask me here any second.
Didn't know how much it was. Roughly.
Let's see if we can find that out. So I've edited it. I'm going to get to that. And you can see here, there's going to be dynamic or details of the clicks, of the scans, of all your stats of this QR code. You can edit the design of it. You can edit. Sorry, it's moving a little bit slow, probably because.
Wait, so is that finding the results of who scanned?
Yes.
And that's only on the generator page?
That's the dynamic one where you can get the stats.
Oh, and so they keep track of all the stats on that for you?
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's what you have to pay.
Exactly. So there's definitely, I mean, there's a good, it's good to pay, but I mean, if you want that information, and that's where I wish I could remember my real login, because you could see some of those stats on there, but I don't use them all that much. Now, wondering what the page looks like after receiving some scans, view a demo. Now you're just seeing some of the like operating systems, cities, countries. So honestly, for real estate, it's not like it's capturing their information unless you add it, you ask them for their information. So I don't know how important this is. Maybe for location of cities, if you did something really big with this. But it's pretty broad information that I don't know if we'll really need. Any questions? And you can, of course, free trial ends in 15 days. Let's go ahead and upgrade so you guys can see the cost of this. Professional, that's a lot. $15.99, $6.99. I think I've always 2 dynamic codes, 10,000 scans, 1 user. I think that's what I did. And it's billed annually. So what was that? 6 times 12 or $7 times 12 months. Because you can use as many static codes as you'd like.
Cool.
Okay.
Man, this has been amazing, Gina. Thank you.
You're so welcome. We kind of got through all that in an hour. But there's lots of ideas here that you guys can use this. I would say pick one, do it, and then move on to the next one, right? So whatever your biggest need is, if it's reviews at the closing table, create your form, have that QR code on a piece of paper so that you can bring it to the closing table and they can scan it right then. Or you can always have that link ready to go, text it to them at the closing table. Open houses, client surveys. If you want to do a big push to your whole database, your top clients, and say, hey, I want to get to know you a little bit better. What's your favorite, candy bar, restaurant, so you could, maybe better serve them, better give them referral prizes, things like that is a good idea. Lots of ideas that you guys can do. Anybody have any questions or ideas that came out of this today that you want to share?
You most definitely recorded this, right?
Definitely recorded it, yes.
So where do I go to watch it? Because I'm telling my
Right here.
marketing girl and she's like, okay, I need to watch that.
Oh, wow. Look at me and Rachel back in September of 2021. Rachel looks just as fabulous and I look just as a hot mess in my tie-dye t-shirt.
Oh.
Here is where
She's
you
always
go.
smiling though.
So this is where it's going to be now playing goals. You go here.
Gina, you also sending like after our meeting too, right?
Yeah, I'll send it in the thing. And I think you can follow this so that you'll get, like if a new one pops up or stuff like that, you guys can always go back here to find it.
Oh, it's on YouTube. Okay.
Yep.
I had it zoomed in so I could see what you were doing.
There's the link to that. Any other questions? Was this helpful?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Very
Thank you
good.
so much.
I like the option to do to sign up for slots,
Yes. And maybe that's where was the one that was like a grid one? I want to see what that looks like. Oops. I made them all required. Yeah, so that didn't look bad. And so you could do slots like this, like time. Maybe. Something like that. I always wish we had more time to kind of discuss ideas, but it usually does take all the time to go through this. All right, well, that's all I got for you guys. Any other questions? Stacy, I saw you went off of mute for a second. Did you have any questions?
No, I'm going to play around with this. It was really good, really informative.
Okay, awesome. And I am going to do this in April. I have a 3-part class that I'm doing because because I used to try to do this all in one class, which was impossible. So I'm actually going to break it down to one class on Google Form, then it's going to be on QR codes, and then it's going to be on Canva design, so that you can use now this QR code in your Canva design and different things like that. So that's coming up in April.
Awesome. Thank you, Gina.
All right. All right. Well, thank you guys. And let me know if you have any other questions. We'll talk next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.